Hey good people, welcome back to Beauty and Lots of Frizz today. My name is Cara, and whether you're new or returning, thank you so much for stopping by and hanging out with me today. I kind of don't know the direction of this video, but I'm gonna go ahead and call it Makeup Regrets. One of my friends on Instagram, Lock Maiden, we were in one of my premieres and she's like, I think it might be time for a regrets video. And I think it's time because it is time for me to put my foot down with a lot of stuff. So we're gonna talk about that. And this is just part of, reflecting and kind of holding myself accountable. Maybe you can relate, maybe you can't, maybe you have some tips because a lot of you have shared some things with me already. So, this is part of my makeup therapy. So if makeup is your therapy, if it makes you happy, if it's your escape, and if it frustrates you sometimes, this might be the channel for you because we're going to talk a little bit about that today. If that sounds good to you, definitely keep watching this video and consider subscribing and joining the community because I would love to have you back. All right, let's get started. Okay, you guys, so for the most part, here are my eyeshadow palettes. I have these drawers, 1, 2, 3, and 4. They all go in this little storage unit here. Please don't mind my room. Here are my Pat McGrath palettes and Marky. Here are my other Pat McGrath palettes. These are all the 6 pans and the quads. So that's that. I do have a couple of miscellaneous palettes here, like my 2 Glam Light Foodie boxes, and then the Ice Cream Dream palette. So these are all of my eyeshadow palettes, and I have managed to condense them into these drawers in recent days because I did do a declutter, and I will talk about that. This blue little bucket here, these are things that I need to be working on. So eventually I will integrate this makeup into the appropriate drawer. They're not all palettes, but they're lashes and lipsticks and things like that. So that's that. So if you follow me on Instagram, you already know what I'm about to talk about really quick. I do not want to harp on it a lot because I have already let my frustrations be known. You all know I'm a Pat McGrath stan. I'm a fanatic. And if you are new to my channel, let me backtrack really quickly and tell you about my journey with makeup. It hasn't been that long. I started getting into makeup midway through 2019, and I started my channel during the pandemic in May of 2020, and my collection has spiraled out of control from there. I started with me trying some eyeshadows out, not understanding why it didn't look right. And then I realized I had hooded eyes and, found some beauty YouTubers and it's been down the rabbit hole from there. My collection started to build, and then I was just like, this is fun and it's therapeutic, and maybe some other people are having the same issues. That's when the channel started. Eyeshadow is my thing. I love it. It's just such a fun part of makeup for me, and that is what I focus the most on this channel, and it's just what I love. Everything that I do is built around eyeshadow. So there you have that little summary. When I found out about Pat McGrath, I had been seeing her palettes, for some time on Sephora. I wasn't a big Sephora shopper, and one day I was just like, let me just look up this person. I found out who she was. I started researching. I had no idea she was a Black woman, so I just became literally obsessed, and I accumulated every single palette that she has. I have everything. So, the announcement of this new mothership was really, really exciting for me. The inspiration that she has been showing for the past month, my heart was just like, I did not know what to expect. I was thinking her version of a rainbow palette. Imagine my surprise when the palette was revealed. I really thought it was not true. I think the palette is beautiful. I'm gonna go ahead and say that up front. It's gorgeous. I know it's gonna be amazing quality, and I am gonna get it, but I'm not gonna get it right away. And that pains me to say. But I have to just do a little bit of self-reflection. You know, when I started my channel, I wasn't buying any clothes. I wasn't buying clothes for my kids. Nobody was in sports. There was no Beyonce concert. There were just expenses that I didn't have, and I just totally went ham on like whatever makeup I wanted to buy, whatever I thought was in, whatever I thought people wanted to see, whatever was trending, and I bought a lot of stuff. My collection grew so quickly, and I felt a sense of, and still feel a sense of loyalty to certain brands, Pat McGrath being one of them, because she is my favorite. And I feel like that about a couple other brands. With things opening back up and real life really coming back into play, it's like, now it's time, Cara, for you to make some decisions, because I got a palette problem for sure. I got a singles problem too, but I've been able to curb that. But the palettes, that's a problem. And based on feedback from you guys, a lot of people go through this, whether they're on YouTube or not. If you love makeup and you're watching YouTube and you're watching reviews and things like that, it's like you do feel like you have to have things, you know, and that's real. But when that palette came out yesterday, I made a point to record how I felt about it on my stories, because I have a very, very bad habit, and it's called rationalization. And basically what that means is I may feel a certain way in my gut, but then, you know, I'll come up with some other reasons why I should have it. Like I could say, but I have all the other Pat McGrath palettes. I gotta have this one. And I do feel like that, but I just don't need to have it right now. I can wait for a sale. There's just only so many shades of pink that you can have. I'm disappointed. Like, yeah. Now this is just makeup, so you know, I'm not, well, I was kind of sulking yesterday, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not like going around like real mad in real life. I think I am starting to have more of a realistic view, sorry, my root beer, about, you know, what I've been doing. When I look at my room and it looks like an episode of Hoarders, partially because it's my bedroom, I got my bike in here and stuff like that too. It's time for me to reel it in and put my foot down with myself and hold myself accountable. Probably said that already, but I am convincing myself that I need to do this because it is true. So let's talk about makeup that I regret buying. Some things are regrets and some things are learning experiences, and some things I'm just not into as much anymore. Yesterday, I did a huge declutter. I pretty much emptied my bottom drawer. That's one of these that's on my bed. It's full of ColourPop monochromatic palettes. Now, the ones that I saved a few of them. There was a minty one I liked. There was the Frozen Anna and Elsa palette. And I'll do an eyeshadow collection video. It's just things aren't completely organized at this time. And you know, I just wanted to get this out because it's just on my mind right now. And my Makeup Shayla 9-pan and my Sailor Moon. I have some newer ColourPop palettes that I like. I have Barbie, I have Limoncello. I have a few, Lush Life. So I'm excited. I have Raw Beauty Christie. So there are some that I saved, but all those little monochromatic ones I got rid of. Some of them had pressed glitters in them. Some of them did not. The quality was nice. But I've also accumulated some other monochromatic palettes that I really, really like. I love the BH Cosmetics Sweet Shops palettes, and I love all of my Glam Shop monochromatic palettes. I have several of those. The shimmers in Glam Shop are amazing. And they are just like so like duochromatic and just beautiful quality. And the BH Cosmetics Sweet Shops are, they had these jelly shadows. I had Super Shock shadows I had never touched. They were dried up, and that was really disappointing. And then there was some like glitter gels that I don't even know why I bought that, because I've never really been into the glitters. But all of ColourPop stuff had glitter, so I don't know why I bought a separate glitter. That was dumb. ColourPop is very cheap, very affordable. They release often, so that was really like one of the first brands that I got into. And there's still some staple ColourPop products in my collection. There was some Makeup Revolution stuff that was old. I got rid of that. I had some Makeup Revolution quads, or XX Revolution, because you know they keep changing their brands. I just never used them. I never got into it. I'm not sure why. As much as I have kind of liked Makeup Revolution in the past because it's so affordable, once I got into like other brands, I realized that they were just duping other brands like the Huda Beauty palettes, and they were duping Pat McGrath palettes and just all kinds of things. I just wasn't into it as much. Some of their other products that they have, like facial mist and things like that, have scents to them. They're foundations. So I got rid of all of that stuff, cleared it all out because I can't do the smells. But now let's talk about regrets. Now, one thing that doing YouTube is that I am not wearing makeup all the time. I am pretty much a minimalist when it comes to makeup. Lots of days I don't wear makeup to work at all. I will do my brows. That may be it. Based on the timing that I have, I don't have a lot of time to put it on. This is gonna be another chatty video, y'all, just to be forewarned. So I'm sitting here realizing that a lot of these eyeshadow palettes I've used one time. Pretty much every video I'm showing you as a new palette. I'm using it one time and then I may not put makeup on for the next few days. So that's another reason why I'm like, I have to reel this collection in. It's not gonna last forever. Some of these regrets may surprise you. And like I said, they're not necessarily regrets, but after I got it or bought it, I realized I have something like it, or now I'm feeling like I'm gonna waste it and that somebody else could probably enjoy it more. I've been putting a lot of things on Macari, and it's just because it's either not used or so gently used that it's almost brand new. It's like, I'd rather get some of the money back or half of the money back than have spent the whole thing and it just sit there and I just have it as a reference piece. Like, I'm not really getting money like that. I don't have money to just have stuff for a reference, if that makes sense. I think something I've already mentioned, my Patrick Top palette I sold on Macari. I knew right away when I put it on, I did not like it. I did not like it at all. No, that had to go. Natasha Denona Zendo, I took back. That palette is the lowest in my ranking. If I were to rank Natasha Denona palettes, I just was not happy looking at it in my drawer. Glam Light and Michaela, had to go. I sold it. I think I don't like huge palettes anymore, with the exception of about maybe 2 or 3 palettes that I have. I like the Norvina 5. And I have 1 and 2. I got those cheap, so I will keep those. All I Ever Wanted by Alien Cosmetics. That's a 20 pan. Blends by Blends Bunny. I love that palette because the way it's organized is not overwhelming. And I do have the Glam Light Ice Cream Dream palette. Those are the biggest palettes that I have. Oh, one of my students gave me the Tetris palette. That palette has 80 shades. It's overwhelming. I wouldn't have bought it on my own, but I have yet to play with that one. When Glam Light and Michaela came, I thought it looked beautiful, but I think I was just more excited about getting a new release that I thought was gonna sell out, which it did, and then feeling some satisfaction from saying that I got it. But then when it came, like, the hype had died down. It's a beautiful palette. The shimmers look bomb. I just think someone else would enjoy it more than me. I sold Teresa Is Dead. I think Teresa is great. I think the palette looked beautiful and I think the looks look good. I just know I'm not going to use it. The color story really did not speak to me like that. I do have the liners. I was not giving those up. I should have just bought the liners. But it's like, no, I had to have the whole collection. You know what I mean? Somebody bought that palette right away, and I'm not selling these palettes for profit or anything like that. I'm selling them to people who I know genuinely want them. Glam Light Red Velvet Cupcake palette. I think the palette is beautiful. I know I would absolutely love it. But I have Cherry on Top by BH Cosmetics. I have the Burgundy palette by Glam Shop. I have the Pie palette by Glam Light. How many red, berry, purple tone palettes do I need to have? And I think I would use it for the review and not pull it out anymore. And I don't want to mess over it. It's like when you mess over food, you know what I mean? Like, you know you don't like it, so just leave it alone. Like, I'm not going to just swatch it, you know? So I don't want to call those regrets, but they were like hasty purchases that I know I just did not need. This Glam Light Cake palette. Never touched it. A lot of similar shades as the Ice Cream Dream. I don't know how many more rainbow palettes I actually need. Now, didn't get the Rainbow Mothership. Was kind of counting on that, but you know, that didn't happen. This is being sold today, and this hurts me. This is the Alien Cosmetics Don't Be Jelly palette. So when you talk about brand loyalty, Alien Cosmetics has been one of my top favorite brands, and so I didn't really see the palette. I just blindly bought it. This was a 9 pan, way more, and I'm not going to open it because it now belongs to someone else. It was way more expensive than the other palettes, and it is gorgeous. It is gorgeous. If you do have the palette or want to see the swatches, my friend Yadi did lid swatches, so I'll link her video in the description box. But what I realized is that between another Alien palette that I have, which is All I Ever Wanted, and then my Adept palettes, Codon, Ninhydrin, Plain Jane. I pretty much had these shades. So that meant that if I keep Don't Be Jelly, one or all of those other palettes are not gonna be used, period. Either Don't Be Jelly wouldn't get used, or those other 4 palettes that I just mentioned would not get used. It's funny because, and hopefully she's watching, I ended up selling this and the person was like, hey, are you Beauty in the Frizz? She's like, I know that's weird. And I'm like, yes. And it just made me so happy because she was a teacher and she's like, yeah, I wanted this and it sold out. And, you know, I wanted it during the year and now like I can get it and it's obviously not available. Can y'all imagine like how I felt? I felt so good that somebody's gonna get this that was looking for it. And she's like, I watch your videos all the time. And it just really made my day. So I'm calling her Jelly. If you're watching, this is going in the mail, but I'm about to package it up. But thank you. And thank you for, you know, like putting yourself out there. That made me so much happier than keeping it just to be stubborn, if that makes sense. I'm getting all emotional. Some of the things that I really regret buying were Tom Ford quads. Tom Ford is not my aesthetic at all. I may not have known that at the time, but I have like kind of an obsessive personality in a way. And like, I just got on this kick, like on Macari, same way I did with Pat McGrath. But see, I don't have the regrets about the Pat McGrath stuff. And I'm like trying to find deals and just to get this stuff. And I, you know, listened to people's rankings. So I had gotten New Dip. I have Daydream. I had the Soleil palettes, 2 of them. I had the one with that mint green shade, and I had Soleil Neige, and I had Double Indemnity. There's a couple that I am keeping, but this is not my style. I do like some luxury, but luxury is not me. And they have been sitting, literally sitting in pretty much maybe swatched condition, but not used condition. And all shades probably haven't even been swatched. I don't care if I only get half of what it's worth. If somebody will use this or has been looking for it, it is theirs. I regret the Dior Quince, except Black Bow, which is, it's like black and silver shimmer, very cool toned. The holiday collection, I sold a lot of that. The blush, this is Black Night from the holiday collection. Let me just drop everything. A lot of these shades look the same on, very similar to Black Bow. I only needed one, but like those Dior Quince were all the rage, and I thought that's what like people wanted to see, and I bought a whole bunch of them. I don't know why. I don't know why. Those are like the only 2 brands, just because I had bought so much of it, where I'm just like, why was I doing that? I have the first Wayne Goss Imperial Topaz palette. I just never touched it because I have neutral palettes that I really do like, and I like neutrals, but I like when Melt does their neutrals. I love Natasha Denona Bronze Palette neutrals. I like BH Snow Cone. I have the Glam Light Chocolate Donut neutral palette, beautiful. Urban Decay Naked Honey, like those are the type of neutrals I like. The Wayne Goss palette just really didn't speak to me, but I got it when I got 2 of his blush palettes, which I love. And I'm like, let me just throw this in. And it's like, why? Like, why? For what? So I think everything else. No, hold on, y'all. Okay, y'all, I can't find what it is I'm looking for, or Chantecaille is just not my brand. I purchased 2 things from them when they had 30% off last year just to try. One was the Emotion B blush. If you know me, you already know how I feel about that blush. The blush is beautiful. When I purchased it, there was a beautiful gold B, and I thought that it was going to be kind of like a shimmer situation, and it wasn't. It was overspray. Didn't know what overspray was at the time. So again, some of this you just charge it to the game. So I have this, and I have the Hummingbird Quad, the warm one. I really dislike it. The packaging for me, more exciting than the actual product. Again, at the time, still trying to figure out my style, but that ain't it. You know, it was expensive. I think this blush may have been in the $50 range. The Hummingbird Quad was about $72. Chantecaille was this brand that I just heard about, and every single person I watch, Chantecaille, 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 every video. And that's the one thing that drives me nuts, is like when something comes out everybody's video goes up pretty much the same day. And then it's back to back to back to back to back, you know? And so then I felt like, oh, I need to try this brand out too. I need to try this. And it's like, no, I really didn't, you know? But I know now, so things are gonna be a lot different. In a nutshell, I'm kind of chalking up this last year or last year and a half to learning what I like and what I don't like. But now that I really kind of know, there's just no excuse to just dump money for no reason just to have things. I don't know if you guys follow All Things K, but we were talking and like she said something that really stood out to me, and I will link her channel as well in the description box. But she was talking about how like we need to change this culture on YouTube in the makeup community about only reviewing what's new, but reviewing what we like, you know what I mean? Or showcasing what we like. And it doesn't always have to be a review. Now, naturally, when something comes out, you do want to know what it looks like. You do want to know what it looks like on your skin tone, you know, so those things are beneficial. I'm not saying that, but there's just a culture of accumulation and materialism that we have that's, you know, not limited to the makeup industry. It's just about consuming and consuming and consuming. On to the next. What's next? What's next? Because the hype about this mothership isn't going to die down. And the hype about all makeup dies down, and it dies down with me as well. So by the time I get it, especially if it's a long pre-order when it comes, I'm not even excited about it anymore. And that wasn't the point. That wasn't the point of my channel. That wasn't the point of what I'm trying to do here. So I do feel like I got into that a bit, you know, last year. And I'm just putting my foot down with myself. Like I said, it's enough is enough. There's nothing wrong if I want a palette that's not new. I just got Urban Decay Naked Honey, because I've heard for the longest time that it's great. And no, it's not new, but I think it's beautiful. And I've always thought it was beautiful. But then after a certain time, I'm like, hello.
Whoopsie.
Okay. You want to show me what you eating? Didn't offer me nothing. That palette is gorgeous. I've been playing with it. It is beautiful, you know? Melt, Gemini, Millennial Pinks. Yes, I got Millennial Pinks. You know why? Because I love Melt. I love them. I don't care that it came out a year ago or 2 years ago for Valentine's Day. Like, I don't know if any other content creators are going through this the way I'm going through it, but I really wanted to try Violet Voss. I'm like, I've never even seen Violet Voss. I don't know what she looks like. I don't know who she is. But I was like, I saw the Fancy Face do 3 looks with this palette, and I was like, this is an edited version of the Glam palette, and I need that. Like, this is a beautiful palette. So I'm not gonna get it because, like, I can't tell y'all how back and forth I went about getting this palette. And I like it. I mean, I haven't used it yet, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's beautiful, and it's $30. It's not $125. About to go back and buy the Urban Decay Naked Cherry palette because that was my OG favorite palette, but it just got old, and it's $24.50. It's like, okay, Urban Decay might be out of style or whatever. I don't know if it is or it isn't, but it's like, why am I worried about that? To be honest, I feel like in a way, that's why I've never reviewed any of my KKW beauty palettes, because I'm like, oh, I don't know if it'll do well. And I'm like, I could be bringing light to it. Well, it doesn't matter now because y'all, you know, but like my KKW Beauty and Mario palettes, they're great. They are great. KKW Beauty lipsticks, they are great. They are great. Like, and I'm sitting up here just not like showcasing the things that I like when it's a channel about me, because I'm worried, I guess, about, because people don't like her. I get it. You know, I get it. Totally get it. But you know what I'm saying? I don't watch the show. Well, the show's over, isn't it? I don't know. I have palettes that like I really wanted to try by Lunar Beauty. Haven't touched them, but I wanted them. And like, I'm just like, oh, well, they're not, you know, going, like, they're not new. You know what I'm saying? I have Moonspell. I have Eternal Eclipse. And I have Strawberry Dreams. I haven't even touched them yet. And those are things I'm really, really excited about. If you are a content creator and, you know, you're going through this or you're trying to find your way the way I am, I think we just need to focus on doing what we like. And like, I don't have any sponsored videos. I don't have brands sending me PR. So the feeling of loyalty that I have to get everything a brand puts out is really self-imposed. I'm seeing that, I'm recognizing that in myself, and I'm putting that out there because whether you have a channel or not, you may be feeling the pressure to get things, especially when you talk to other people in the makeup community. Are you getting this? Are you getting that? The Lowest Cosmetics palette, didn't need that at all. Didn't even look through my collection and realize that my Gimme Glow palettes, so the Gimme Glow palette would have just taken care of that. So it's kind of like, girl, you're not even looking to use what you have. And you know, I thought that the Lowest Cosmetics palette was really unique, but I do feel deceived by those swatches, you know? And so it's like, those swatches don't look like what I got. You know what I'm saying? So it just, the story is beautiful, but I had it and it wasn't as pigmented as the swatches looked. So when I was doing my looks, they just weren't coming out in a way that I was really happy with. I'm paying lots of shipping for these things, so I don't really have a lot of regrets for lipsticks. I didn't need all the Pat McGrath blushes. I will say that. I could have gone with 4. For me, that blush collection, and that's my saving grace with Pat. She did give us those blushes this year. Those blushes were beautiful, and I was very happy to have them, but I do know I'm not going to use them. So a lot of them may end up just being for comparisons. I don't know why I am or have been feeling like I need the complete thing. Like, you don't need the complete thing. You just don't. I got to stop. I think that my eyeshadow taste is changing a little bit. Like lately, I have felt really stumped when I look at palettes about what to do with them. Sometimes, like I said, there's too many shades. I think my ideal palette would probably have no more than 12 shades. So I'm kind of having an issue with that. Sometimes I'm in the mood to sit and create looks and write them down. And sometimes you just want something that just has ease to it. I know I've just been buying into a lot of hype, and then it just, I don't know, you just feel used. Okay, sorry, I'm being dramatic. I think I've just been a bit agitated or irritated with pre-orders, and maybe it's a lack of understanding on my part as to why there are so many pre-orders. And there's nothing wrong with waiting. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, but it just used to be where you could just go to the store and get what you want, you know, or you get it online from Sephora or Ulta and you get it by the end of the week. But when it's like, oh, it's not going to ship out till next year, or you got brands that had to completely shut down because they didn't make enough. I want to talk about that. I'm not blaming brands. I'm blaming me, because there's a sense of loyalty that I have for no reason. I buy my makeup. I buy all of my makeup, and I'm buying it just like y'all. So it's like, if I don't like it, why am I feeling obligated to get it? I'm not talking about a brand in particular. I'm just talking about in general. I'm talking about just in general, what I'm seeing in the community. I have to like just hold myself a little more responsible. So these are the lessons that I have learned from over purchasing, overspending, and rationalizing the amount of money that I've spent, not just on makeup, but makeup that I wasn't really crazy about. And that's why when I keep telling y'all, and I be saying it sarcastically, but I'm being honest, like when I look at a palette and I be mad that it's in my drawer, so mad that it has to go, it has to go. Like, what was I even thinking? This is not even my type of look, you know, and I see that now. There's no point of me just keeping it so I can be like, yeah, I have the 2018 holiday release. Like, who cares? I can put a picture up. You know what I'm saying? Because somebody could be using it. So when I buy my makeup, I know that it's not necessarily that I'm going to hit pan on it, but I definitely want to be using it. I think you guys probably feel the same about what you have. You know, I want a collection that I'm proud of, that is a little more edited down, just a little bit. I do like it all. Like I said, I have a mix. I've got some luxury. I think I'm mostly an indie lover. I will close by saying that might be the other reason for so much disappointment, not only with the Pat McGrath Mothership palette, but other palettes that I see. I mean, when you have Aurora Flares from Divina, or, you know, some of these shades from Alien, when you have Sydney Grace shimmers, when you have Cleona shimmers, or Terra Moon, or Glam Shop, or even the Pastel Roses, certain things aren't going to measure up anymore. And I just have to realize that. I mean, Juvia's Place has some beautiful multi-chromes or duochromes in Walhalla too. So when you have stuff like that, some of this other stuff isn't measuring up, and it's more expensive. And those are the things that I think, you know, we as consumers need to take a look at and just not get so caught up in names or hype. That's it, you guys. I'm not sure how long this video is gonna be, but it was just kind of a chit chat. It's just on my mind and on my heart, because we love this stuff. We love it. And there's such a community out there for us that love it. And these are the issues that, you know, I'm talking about, my friends are talking about, we're talking about it on Marco Polo and group chats. I know I have more than I can review. As Angelica Nyquist said, you know, she doesn't want to buy more than she can review, and I definitely have that. So when you see these new palettes coming, I've had them, and I thought this summer I was going to be able to pop out a video every day and have all this content up, but, you know, getting the boys to camp and doing all that stuff is, you know, it's like a full-time situation. So like I said, you'll see some new palettes, but I think the only thing that I've purchased is the Unique Beauty Africa Magazine 6-pan palettes, and I did purchase this freaking bats. So I do have those that are gonna come. So I hope this video didn't sound negative. I just hope it sounded real and authentic and genuine, because it is. And I hope that it is thought-provoking, because this is what has really been on my mind, and probably why I haven't been feeling like doing makeup and doing looks, because I'm a little overwhelmed with what I have. And I'm also a little frustrated with what's going on with just the idea of buy. And like I said, not that the brands are putting it out there, but that I am not having the level of discipline that I'd like to have to decipher between what I like and what I want and what I don't want. But it is getting better, obviously, because I'm making this video. So I think you'll see some changes, and there's some things, you know, I'm a fall for and I'm gonna get, you know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. I'm throwing the towel, you know? That's it, y'all. Thank you so much for listening. Please, please, please share some comments. If you agree, if you disagree, however this video makes you feel. If you like it, give me a thumbs up. If you don't, give me a thumbs down. You know what I'm saying? Like, however you feel. It's just something I really wanted to talk about and share. Yeah, thank you so much for hanging out with me. And until I see you again, be gentle with yourself. Talk to yourself nice. Stay safe. And I will see y'all really soon.